Good morning, all. Thanks for joining the webinar. It's been Sunday, so let us wait for another 3 more minutes before we start. Just to give some space for new participants to join. I can understand today is Sunday. All right. So good morning. We will start now. Happy Sunday. Hope you all geared up for today's webinar. And I'm sure things are doing good with all of you. So let us start for today's webinar. And let me talk about hope you are all mechanical engineers, and then looking for opportunities in the mechanical industry. So before I move on to get a little deeper into about today's webinar, so let me give a quick brief about ThinkMates, what all about and who have founded. And so just to give a quick insight about the founders of this company. So which is Kiran Vagga and Ramanjanelu, and they are like being very seasoned people with a very vast and experience. And Kiran comes with 18 plus years experience, which is myself. So and it comes from the BTech Mechanical, and then we have done been worked in various industries such as automotive, majorly into the aerospace. So we worked in that, and then been started founding few companies. One of that is this, and so I am highly passionate in giving the insights about the engineering to all of the budding engineers, because as part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and there are so many companies are coming up to India. Even there are so many new entrepreneurs are starting up new companies such as Ola Electric, Aether Energy, so Revolt Electric. So all these companies are coming up, and such as semiconductor industry. So there are so many things are coming up, and now we need to get a qualified, skillful engineers. As part of that, we started this, and that's where I'm highly passionate. And another co-founder, which is Ramanjanelu, he comes from alumni. He's an alumni of IIT Delhi, and he comes with a very rich and vast experience in the fields of technology, project management, petroleum sector from the last 17 plus years. And he also highly skillful and experienced in education and training. So far, he has been trained so many engineers, even for a gate, and placed a lot of people into the IITs. So he is highly passionate in towards educating the engineers. So these are the we are the two co-founders of this company, and then comes with a very, very rich experience from the industry. So that's when we understand how we can get these engineers to be seasoned too, so that they can get placed in the companies. So let me talk about, so before I move on, I want to make sure that I am gonna talk about three important things during this webinar. One phase would be understanding, making you understand what all the job opportunities that are being there in the mechanical industry. And number two, what is the gap in the skill for all these upcoming and engineers coming out of the engineering, and then what is the gap between what industry expectations versus what you learned during the engineering. So I'm going to cover that particular skill gap in this webinar. That is the number two part. And number three is how we can fill that skill gap, how we can make you to come over that gap and then becoming industry ready to get a job or to face an interview. So these are the three major phases that I'm going to cover during this webinar. So let us talk about the first thing called job opportunities. What are the job opportunities? So let me talk about what are the employment channels that we have in the current Indian market. So one, everyone knows it's a government jobs. And then we have OEMs, which is like original equipment manufacturers, such as Mahindra, Maruti, TVS, Tata Motors, all these called as original equipment manufacturers. The people who manufacture the product at the end and delivers to the customer, they are called as OEMs. And then we have tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. So which are nothing but, who supplies to all these OEMs, because everything they cannot manufacture. Even they need some suppliers to manufacture and supply to OEMs. So they are called tier 2 suppliers. And engineering service industries, these are nothing but like Signed, which is formerly called as Infotech, and Wipro, TCS, Capgemini, Quest Global. All these companies are like called as engineering service industries. Typically, these companies do not manufacture, but however, they are doing the design and development. They are purely into the engineering development segment. And lastly, it is self-employed, which is nothing but establishing our own companies or establishing our own businesses. So these are the different various employment channels in the industry, current market. So now, what to choose? How to choose is depend upon what we need as an employee. I mean, as a fresher, what type of environment that I need, that is when we need to choose which one we need to go. So these are the parameters. Safety, what type of, I wanna be in this very safe environment where or want me to be continuing the same organizations once I join for a long term, or I want to get a financial stability, means I need a good salaries and a very good hikes, promotions, I need a challenging jobs, or I need to be in a very, very professional environment. If you want to be in a very, very professional and sophisticated environment, obviously you need to choose the engineering service industry. So if not, then other industries can be gone. And working environment, how happily enjoyable work environment you need to be, and passion towards what you need to do. So depend upon all these parameters, you need to choose which one you need to go. So these are the ways that we do. And let me talk about industries in India or anywhere in the world. For all these mechanical engineers, we have certain automotive and aerospace. These are the segments. These are the industries. If you say about automotive, these are all the companies that I just listed. Not necessarily to be only these. Beyond this, there are so many other automotive industries, but I just mentioned the top companies in the world. And there are so many of such companies even after this. And likewise, if you go for a aerospace, there are so many aerospace companies also exist, like Boeing, Airbus, Pratt and Whitney, Dassault Systems, whatnot. Everything all have. So now let's talk about a little bit about automotive. See, in automotive, every vehicle, more or less, like I say, if you take a car, more or less, an average, either a car or a bike or so, more or less in average, there are all about 7,000 parts will be exist. And likewise, if you go to the, aerospace, you may see at least 50 lakh parts in an aircraft. So why I'm telling about these numbers are because we should able to, or you should understand one thing, each and every part of this, any part has to be designed, engineered, and manufactured. So for all this, we need a mechanical engineers. So now you can understand what type of job opportunities that exist in the market. And likewise, automotive, aerospace, you also see there are few consumable electronics companies such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Philips, Dell. There are so many of such. And likewise, you have medical devices. Generally, all these X-ray machines, scanning machines, that which we are going and getting this done in any of, you got fractured leg or you want to get a CT scan, you have so many machines, right? So all these machines will be manufactured by these companies, like Pfizer, Sandoz, Deloitte, all these companies. So that's where they call medical devices companies. So, and then we also have another category called heavy machinery, such as excavators, dumpers, tamrocks, all these, like, which are used for construction purposes, all these things like JCB, Hitachi, Komatsu, John Deere, tractors, all these, comes under heavy machinery. So these are the many companies such where there is a huge openings for the mechanical industries. So, and likewise, this slide talks about, there is another industry, very lately it is getting better, which is electric vehicles. And if you see in the right side chart from 2013 to 2020, there are so many thousands of companies are being grown over the period of time. So, which means that, there is huge opportunities in the electric vehicles industry as well. When I say electric vehicles, you might have got doubt, right? So what mechanical engineer will do, right? So, but yes, mechanical engineers will also have huge opportunity in the electric vehicle industries. The reason is, when we talk about electric vehicle, it is only the powertrains, electronic speed control units, batteries, battery management system. Apart from this, everything is mechanical, like the chassis, the body, the integration, the seating, everything has to be designed by the mechanical industry, mechanical engineers. So there is a huge in the electric vehicle industry as well. So now, I'm just want to tell you few things in this particular slide. Also, there is a thing called, in the left side chart, I'm gonna talk about mechanical engineers. So where they have, it is giving the opportunity versus the demand and supply. If you see on the left side chart, the blue bar is indicating the demand and the red bar is demanding the supply. So when we say that, the demand and supply, if you see the mechanical engineers, there is a 12,523 jobs are available, as far as the latest data concerned. But then when you see the red bar, which is that, only 9,599 people are, getting, placed. There is a huge gap in this industry as well. And let me, I think everyone must be knowing who is he. He is Steve Jobs. So he has a famous quote always, that, we don't hire hard people. We always try to hire the smart people in the industry, so that these smart people should tell us what we should do, rather we tell them what to do. Meaning that all companies wanting to hire a very smart people, which means they comes with a certain skill set into the company, so that they don't put so much of efforts to develop the engineers who join them. Rather, they will keep minimal efforts, so that engineers will come with a particular skill set into the company, and so that they can put more productivity to the company. So that is where the Steve Jobs is a famous quote. And now let's talk about in the next slide. See, this slide is especially to talk about the expectations from the employer. Employer means nothing but the industries. See, likewise, in the previous slides, we talk about what as an employee are looking at an expectations. We talk about safety, good promotions, good financial stability, good working environment, need a good challenging roles or a good challenging task. So these are the expectations from the employee. So likewise, there is an expectation from the employer as well. So let us see what is that expectations. So they expect very good academics, good communications, analytical thinking, problem solving skills, dedication, very good tool expert, which means again technical, and then flexible and adaptable, learning skills, sincerity, and hardworking. So these are the major things that each and every employer expect from an employee. So unless we don't fall in any of this category, and then we just go and attend the interviews and expect a job, and it will just leave the disappointment, nothing else. So rather, what we should do, better we make sure all these are being covered or we learn, and then go on and get prepared, and then go and attend the interviews. I should say at least 85% of the probability that you will get a job. And if we don't do any of this preparation and just go, and it will just leave a disappointment. So these are the expectations, minimum expectations from an employer. And so right now, like I said in the beginning of the webinar, I'm going to cover 3 phases. 1 being opportunities in the industry, 2 being the the gap that we have as an engineer, skill gap, and then 3rd being how to fill the gap. So first part we covered, what are the job opportunities in the industry. So now let's talk about what is the expectations from the industry and what is the skill gap. So before we talk about it, let's understand how an industry what all the process or the design process or the product development process that will exist in the industry. So typically in any product, in any industry, if you want to develop any product, these are the major like concepts. So first we need to develop the concept of any of the product that we need. And then we need to develop the prototype out of the concept. After we develop the prototype, then we need to develop the engineering on it. So which means that putting the strength of materials, material science, GD&T, all this we need to put it in the engineering to develop the product. After we put an engineering onto it, then there is an analysis. Understanding that what type of analysis that we need to do to make sure that whether the engineering concept that what we have developed, whether it is right or wrong, is where the analysis will take care. After that, then we will manufacture the product, and that is where your end product will come. So typically, this is the process that will take care any of the product development in the company. And likewise, there is a design process. And as part of the design process, every engineer have to consider these points before they develop the product. Safety, comfort, maintenance, and user friendly. How it is. So safety, when you're, for example, if you're developing a car, so whether how safe can somebody drive, and what if there is an accident, whether he can retrieve from the car with a safety. So that is where you need to consider all this. Likewise, comfort, how comfortably you can drive a car, and maintenance, maintainability means whether it will come every 15 days or 1 month, there is a maintenance will come, or every 6 months, there is a maintenance required to the car. So we need to design to that. Likewise, how user friendly. So unless we don't do anything, then you will end up in a trouble. So likewise, in the design process, generally, how it will start is first understand the scope of the work, which means understanding the requirements when you are designing or developing a product, such as, for say, in the car, if you are designing and developing a dashboard, for example, so then you need to understand the scope of the work. Then you need to plan for that, how it has to be executed. And then there is a design process, which is like, developing the conceptual design. After that, you need to do the preliminary design, critical design, mechanism, and all that. And likewise, then you need to do the product development. So after that, manufacturing, testing, and all that will take place. After that, you will market the product. So this is a typical design process that will be there in the development of the product. And now let us, and in those design process, for at every stage, there are so many points that every design engineer have to be taken care of. So like say in the concept design, in engineering, manufacturing, certification, aftermarket, these are the cycles, right? In the concept design, the top is showing the requirements, and then the bottom is showing the tool requirements. And then likewise in engineering, when you're doing the engineering, these are the points that you need to take care of while manufacturing those points, certification after. So unless you take care of these many points as a design engineer, you can't get a reliable product. So let me talk about, I'll show you one video just to make everyone, to be on the toe. I'll show you one video. You may know us. This is a Bose. We all know Bose is a sound company, where they develop the audios like headphones. But what we all don't know is they also, develop the suspension systems of the car. So they have developed this suspension system, which is a electronic controlled suspension system. And let's compare without Bose suspension system, how the car will do the wobbling. This is a conventional system. So see how car is doing up and down. So now see the Bose, how smoothly it is coming on the road. You can see the comparison. Right side is Bose and left side is normal. Because of the electronic stability, Bose suspension system is more stable. You can see that top is Bose and bottom is a conventional suspension, how it is going up and down in the bottom. And see how the normal suspension, how the car is wobbling. And now just see how smoothly it is coming. This is the design that they have done it. And see the stability of the vehicle, how stable in the Bose and how it is not stable in the bottom. So we all can think that, wow, this is a great design, right? Bose have done a greatest design. And then these guys are like, must have done a great job. But do you think that Bose suspension system have come into the market? You must have think that yes. But unfortunately, answer is no. They were not able to enter into the market. Why? Let us find why. So because although they have designed, they have they have designed that, even in the speed bumps, the car will not have up and down. It will go smoothly. You will not even feel there is a humps in the road. And, and there is no potholes. Even though they have no pothole, you will not feel that there is a pothole. But they have majorly designed for this, majorly designed for comfort. But what they missed is they have not considered the safety. Why? Because all these bumps on the road is meant for safety, because you need to slow down the vehicle and then take up the bump. But what both have done is, even because of their suspension, they can just go on the bump. So then ultimately it will result to the accidents. So that's why finally they were not able to get clearance from the regulatory system. So that's why they were not able to enter into the market. So like I said before, you need to, while designing, you need to take care of all of this. That is the part of the design. So let us take a little break of all that. And I'm gonna put you one problem on the screen now. Let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different parts in a different form and shape and being assortedly positioned. And now, can you think out of this, can you make or form a meaningful shape out of this? I'm going to give you next 1 minute. Think about it. And if you can get some meaningful shape out of it, put it in the chat box. What is that shape? Let us see. I'm going to give you 1 minute from now. Think about it. What kind of, my problem statement here is, can we get a meaningful shape out of it? And as an engineer, can you come out with a solution that for this problem statement? 1 minute. Think about it. If you have any answers, put it in the chat box. So, all right. So what is the solution here? Just see how this shape is being turned and then put it. Is this not formed a proper meaningful shape? So that is the solution that we expect as an engineer. For any given problem, we need to come up with a solution. But as an engineer, can we come up with only one solution? Answer is no. You should come up with an alternative solutions and come up with a multiple solutions, and then we should pick best solution out of it. So what kind of alternative solutions we can get out of the same problem statement? These are the solutions. So typically what I am going to tell you here is, as an engineer, we always should be good at problem solving skills. Unless we have, apart from any of the technical knowledge that we have, we should have a good problem solving skills. So this is what any company will expect, right? So let us understand what could be the skill gap analysis here. So understanding what could be the skill, this chart depicts about number of years from 0 to 3 years, engineers who joined the company, and the same engineers who got experience between 4 to 6, 7 to 12, and 12 plus. So what a typical engineers will require a skill set in this company, I'm going to show you here. So 20, 10, 10, 5. So, and these are the major skill sets required in the industry. Say the blue is the engineering. So, and the orange is CAD skills, 50%, and then design skills, gray is 10%. And the yellow is 5%, which is product and process. And then blue is like communication skills, and 5 management skills should be like 5%. So typically when an engineer will be hired by any company from 1 to 3 years, this is what they expect, that they should have the skills. And if you see the bottom 20%, typically this is what we learn in the engineering college. So this 20% is nothing but, if you are an engineer who got 100 out of 100 in your engineering, which means that you can exhibit 20% of your knowledge in the company. But I'm sure a lot of people may not achieve that. Per se, if you are only 50% or a 60% scorer in your engineering, which means only you are contributing only like say, about like 14-13% of your skill in this thing. So that is the gap again. Likewise, 50% is the CAD. What you might have learned in the CAD, which is CATIA or SolidWorks in your engineering, but that is not really the CAD which any company expect. There is so much deep in the CAD that everyone need to learn beyond what you might have learned in engineering. That is what company expect. About 50% of the skill required is CAD, but unfortunately, this much of a depth and advance will not be taught in your college. So what industry expect? So there is likewise design and all. So this is the huge skill gap that we as an engineer that comes out of the engineering will have while company expect this. This is what company expect, and what we exhibit is different. So now this is the skill gap. So now like we discussed, we understand what is the skill gap that we as an engineers coming out of the engineering versus what industry expects and what we have learned from the engineering. So now let's talk about in the next slide what will be the what takes to fill this gap. So before I move on to this slide, so let me recap what we have learned so far in the current webinar, right? First, we have learned what are the job opportunities that are in the industry. Secondly, we understand what as an engineer, we have a gap, skill gap, in towards what industry is expecting versus what you might have learned in the engineering. We understand that skill gap. So now let's talk about the third phase of the webinar we entered. And before I am saying that, I'm going to tell you that let's wait until till the end of the webinar. I'm going to tell you a very, very surprising and then interesting fact for all of you. So let's wait till the end of the webinar. And so now let's talk about what takes to fill this gap. So now in the previous slide, we learned what will be the gap, skill gap, what industry expects. So to fill that gap, we need to understand the domain. Before we even enter into the interviews or we go to the interviews, we should understand all of this or learn all of this. Without learning any of this and we just go and try to attend for an interview, like I said, it will just disappoint you. So to get to that preparation, what is needed is domain knowledge. Whether it is automobile, aerospace, or home appliances or heavy industry, you need a domain knowledge. And you need to know very deep in the CAD. And you need to know what type of industry that you are going in. And apart from all this technical knowledge, I'm telling you, you also should know, MS Office, which is Microsoft Office, such as how to prepare the presentations, how to make the Excel sheets, how to make the Word documents. You need to learn all of that. And you also need to know majorly importantly the soft skills. Without knowing or learning the soft skills, like how to attend the interviews, how to face the interviews, how you need to physically or give the postures while you sit in front of the interviewer, and how to build the resume. Until unless you know all of this, again it will leave you the disappointment. And you should know corporate culture. It's just going and sitting in front of them without knowing the corporate culture, like how the culture will be, the company environment will be, and how the typically an employee has a organization chart, like how it will be like a team, design engineer, senior design engineer, team lead, project lead, engineering manager, director of engineering. Unless you know all of these hierarchies and just going, again, it's a problem. So you need to understand the corporate culture also. And then, of course, understanding about the business and all. This is how we need to know and learn all of this. So how we can get to this, right? And this is where our approach will come. So our approach is based upon why we are very keen is because we come as a founders comes with a very, very strong experience from the industry and done multiple positions. Even I come out of, I know I've been worked there from the design engineer, engineering manager, and then the director of engineering. So I have seen all the hierarchies. So that's why we design. So now we understand all the skill gaps, what to learn to fill up that gap. So now, from now on, I'm going to tell you how we are going to offer you as a program or a course to make you to build up yourself so that you can attend the interviews and get success and to get the job. So for that, I'm going to tell you what is our approach. So we are designing every program with the career focus, and we will deploy the engineering methodology, and we will teach you the industry and domain knowledge, and we will teach you the MS Office skills and soft skills. We will teach you the corporate culture, and then part of that, of course, the CAD design, and we teach you how to do the engineering such as GD&T, strength of materials, product and process development, MS Office like MS Excel, MS Word, and soft skills and the corporate culture. We will teach every of this, and that is where you come with the very raw, and then finally you will become a very accomplished engineer by learning all of this through our offerings, and then go and attend the interview. And I'm sure 95% there is a probability that you will gonna crack that interview and then awarded with a job in your dream industry. Why I said only 95% and 5% I still give that probability is majorly for your own interest and passion towards to getting a job. So that 95%, there is a good probability that you will get a job when you will go through all of this through our course offerings. Why we are gonna offer all of this is because we know and we have been worked in the industry for the last 18 years, and so we understand what a company needed as an engineer. So we will teach everything part of this. So, and as part of the course, we also teach you the how to do the planning in the products milestones, because we have worked in the industry and we have been part of the entire design life cycle of the product. We know the entire life cycle, what it takes for any engineer to right from the conceptual design to realizing the product until the testing. We understand the entire life cycle of the design. So we are going to bring all that our learnings of the industry into these courses and going to offer you. And what we are going to cover during this courses is planning, how to plan, how to design, how to manufacture, how to, apart from that, in the design, we do creation, revisions, and then manufacturing, how to do the prototype, how to do the production design, how to do the mass productions like batch productions. Apart from all this, we also teach you what is the digital pre-assembly process, because nowadays every of the assembly lines in the big industries are getting automized, which means that less of the labor involvement, more in the digitization of the assembly line. For that, a lot of robotics is required. So we will teach you all that. And for example, Tesla is the very early industry where they have digitized their entire manufacturing assembly line up to 80%. Only 20% is where manually they're gonna do by the man. So we will teach you or cover all of this during your courses. And just to give a highlights also that in a product, when we are gonna teaching you a product, so we are gonna cover, for say in automotive industry, in the body and the vehicle, there is a body. In that body, we will have structure, underbody, dash panel, side panels, and then in the functional bodies like lamp, glasses, wipers, electronics, and the electronics infotainment system, wiring, harness, embedded systems, and chassis, and then trims like interiors, exteriors, seating. We are going to cover every of this as part of the program. So with this, you will get a very a rich experience within the industry, so that when you go and attend the interviews, you are not like no more as a fresher, right? You are, and morely, we also gonna give you the live projects make you to work on every of this part, and then which means that we are going to teach you design cycle, engineering cycle, and then CAD cycle and manufacturing cycle. So you will get to know much of it. So likewise, that way, you will be more confident how to go. And here, during this programs, we adapt the 3D formula. So what is that 3D formula? So when anybody comes into us, so we make them to think more about what is the problem statement for any of the design when it comes to you. So that comes as a problem statement. So as a requirements. So we will make you to understand what could be that and make you to think about it. And then observe what is being given. After thinking, make you to observe. So we will teach you how to do that as part of the cycle. And then after that, we will you need to gain the knowledge out of that. And then once we gain the knowledge from the problem statement, what is that to be designed? And we need to communicate to your next superiors. Maybe you are a senior engineer or a team lead or a engineering manager or a director of engineering. You need to communicate. How to communicate the design, what you thought in your mind and what you put down. So how to communicate that and how to manage the things. Once you are communicated, you need to start planning and managing things to develop the product. We will teach you how to do that. And then with that, you will gain the whole confidence. So that's where with this, we say there are three things, which is primarily we classify all of this into three things, which is think, train, and transform. So with this 3D formula, we apply in every of our course offerings to make sure that you will become a successful person. So let us take a recap on what we have. So like I said, I promise we are coming to the end of the webinar, and I'm going to show you the next and the last slide and a offerings from us, a surprising element for you. And I'm going to tell you that before going into the last slide, and let us recap what we have learned in this webinar. Like I told, there are three phases that we went through in this webinar. One being the job opportunities that are in the mechanical industry. And then number two, what is the skill gap as an engineer we have towards what industry expectations versus what we have learned from the academics, from the engineering. So there is a huge gap between what expected from the industry and what we learned from the engineering. So that gap we have seen through the graph. That is 20%, and then 50% of the CAD, 20% is the engineering, 50% is the CAD, and 10% is the design. And we have seen that. So of which we are only come out of the engineering only with 10 to 15%. The rest, 80 to 90% is a gap. So that gap we have discussed. And thirdly, we have discussed how to fill that gap. And we have discussed that phase, like what is that approach that we are gonna come out. Traditionally engineering methodology, industry knowledge, how we are gonna fill that gap. We have learned about that. So that is where the three things we have covered in this webinar. So like I said, in the third phase, which we have learned how to fill that gap, and what is our approach as a thinkmates with all our industry experience that we put down to make you to learn. And now in the last slide is our offerings. So with this, we are coming up with three different programs. One is a short-term program, advanced program in design and development, PG program in design and development. So the short terms comes with 3 months, advanced program comes with 6 months, and PG program in design and development comes with 1 year. So all our experiences are put down in these programs to make you to attend with a fully knowledgeable resource, so that 95% there is a probability that you are going to crack the interview and then award the job in your dream industry. So let us go a little deeper in the short term what we are going to cover. So what we are going to cover in the short term is like It is a 3 months program and one domain from automobile. What does it mean? So in an automobile, it's a big car, right? So there is so many subdomains, like say dashboard, and there is a chassis, and there is a external trims that is called BIW, body in white, and then interiors, which is called trims, and there is a seating. So likewise, there are multiple domains. So we are going to teach you one full domain so that you will become a industry knowledge. And we are going to teach you one CAD tool, whether it is a CATIA or SolidWorks or Unigraphics or ProE, whichever is required. And then we will give you 1 or 2 live projects so that you can get all what you have learned in this, thing. And then, we have, advanced program. It is a 6 months program, and where we will teach you like 2 domains from the automotive industry, whether it could be chassis or a BIW, body in white, or interiors, trims, or exteriors. So we will teach you the entire detailing of that, and one CAD tool we will teach. And then apart from the 3 months program, which is added here, is the soft skills. This is very, very important, which comprises of MS Office skills and then the soft skills. And then we will have a live projects. Plus, there is a 100% job placement assistance will be given from our HR recruitment cell. So, and then plus we will give you a Dassault certification. So whatever the CAD tool you will be, because Dassault is the one who have developed the CATIA or SolidWorks. They are the owners of that. So from them, you will get a certification after the successful completion. So then finally, we have the third type of program, which is a PG program in design development. And it is comprised of 1 year. And here again, we will teach you 2 domains from automotive. And then we also teach you 2 CAD tools, whether it is CATIA and SolidWorks or something else. And then we will have soft skills will be taught, and then live projects, and then 100% job placement assistance will be given from our HR recruitment cell. And then apart from that, we also give you, assistance in resume builder. And then we will also give you assistance in how to build up your profile in the LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional social media platform where you will get to know a lot of jobs. So we will help you in assisting how to develop your profile in the LinkedIn. And plus, we also give you, the work experience for you in this 1 year program, saying that when you go and attend for the interview, you can show this 1 year and experience with working with ThinkMates in a multiple projects, so that you are not no more as a fresher, you are already being an experienced person. So that is the greatest advantage from this 1 year program. So, and these are the 3 programs. And right now we are giving 50% discount on the first 50 students. Like I said, short-term program is actually 40,000, but we are offering at only 15,000. And 6 months program, which is advanced program in design development, is offering at 1,25,000, but we are offering at only 99,000. And PG program, which is 1 year, comes with the experience also. In fact, this is at 2,50,000 as per the market rates, but then we are offering at only 1,25,000. So this is only for the first 50 enrollments that we are going to give. After this webinar, you will be redirected to a enrollment form. You please enroll into that. It is a free enrollment, means that you are not going to pay for that enrollment. Once you enroll, that enrollment form is only to show your interest to which program you want to enroll. After that, our placement cell or our executives will call you and tell you how more details about these programs, and then the payment process and everything will be done later. So with this, filling this enrollment form, you're not committing anything to us. It is a free enrollment showing your interest, which program you want to join, so that you can build up this career get a dream jobs in your dream companies. So this, with this, I'm telling you, see, we comes from this industry. So our only aim is that what we learned in these 18 years, we are transforming all this knowledge in these programs, and then make you to become an experienced engineer before you go and attend the interviews. So this is the beautiful courses being designed for you, so that your probability of getting the job will be 95%, and at a very, very minimal cost. So this is where I offering says, after this you will be redirected to the enrollment form. Plus we also get an enrollment form to your WhatsApp. Enroll as early as possible, because this offer is only for the first 50 students. Apart from that, we also running one more thing, which is that stipend kind, where we are running one test. So you can attend that. If you are getting scoring a very good marks, further you may get some more discount. So that is also we are offering that. So all this is only for the first 50 students. So you please go ahead and do that. And before we end up this webinar, I am open for any question and answers. If you have any questions, you can put it in your chat box or a Q&A. I'm going to read it and I'm going to answer you. So we will open this question and answers for the next 10 minutes so that we can end up this webinar by 12 noon. I have seen one question, sir, how much salary package will get after this course? So to answer this question, typically in the industry for our mechanical engineers, average salary package will start from between 3.5 lakhs. So it could be more or it could be less, but that's the average. So it purely depends upon how good that you are going to learn in this 1 year program or a 6 months or 3 months program. See, for example, if you're going for a 1 year program, you are going to learn a lot of engineering and design process, and then prepare yourself how to come all the soft skills and do some projects, so that you are going and attending to this interview as if you are an experienced guy. So that way you are gonna get more package than any of the fresher. So you may expect more also. So it's all depend upon which program you are gonna choose, how you're gonna and plus how you are gonna put your own interest in these programs and then learn with us. And then depend upon that you get salary. So hope I answered your question. Any other questions? Please type in your chat box. And like I said, after this, you'll get an enrollment form, program enrollment form. You please enroll into that and then just express interest. That is a free enrollment form. You don't need to pay anything for it. For enrolling and expressing your interest, you can just express which program you want to get in. So our team will get back to you, give you more details about the programs and the costs. And also we are running one more thing that, you may see this may be higher cost. So we are offering an EMI thing where you can pay in installments kind. So all that details will be given by our executives once you fill up the enrollment form and then submit. With that, people will call you and give you more details about it, how to pay and all of that. There is one more question. Is it online or offline courses? It's a good question. It is purely an online course. You can attend from anywhere sitting. And this is not a pre-recorded courses. This is online live classes. So which meaning that our subject matter experts, like industry experts, is going to teach you. All these people will, through online live, they will teach you. So, and these are all been recorded. All these live classes will be recorded, and we will give you a dashboard separate, a student dashboard. In that dashboard, all these recorded sessions will be kept in your dashboard. You can also revise those recordings, or if you have missed any classes, or you have any doubts in the previous attended classes, you can go through that recording sessions. But otherwise, all classes are online and these are live. Hope I answered your question. So any other questions, Basavaraj? I hope you answered your question. So, Basaraj, you have any questions further? You please type in the chat box. Hope I answered all of your questions, and further any questions, we'll give you another 1 more minute before we wind up this webinar. And after that, you can fill up your enrollment form. All right. Thank you so much for attending the webinar. So Ram, can we close this?
Yes, Kiran. Thanks, one and all.